The state's Division of Administrative Hearings, DOAH, shows the insurer funds these judges' salaries at about $250,000 per year. You're getting $250,000 from the carriers. All right, so think about it from these corrupt judges' perspective now. You're a judge, you work for the DOAH, you're an administrative judge, and you're getting $250,000 a year from the contract that the administration has with the insurance carriers. You're being paid that. That's going into your pocket. How do you think you're going to rule? I mean, it's just corruption, man. Money corrupts people. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Daniel, entrepreneur, not your conventional businessman. I've built and scaled my business from the ground up. And this is a space where we talk mindset, manhood, entrepreneurship, business ideas, and really just anything kind of trending in the news, politics, whatever it may be. Today, I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go over a House bill that's being proposed in the state of Florida. Now, there's one thing every American has the right to, and that's the right to due process, whether you understand that fully or not. What that means is that you have the right to courts. You have the right to trial. If somebody wrongs you, whether it be an individual, a corporation, or even the government, you get your day in court. You get a neutral judge, you get to show evidence, you get to cross-examine, and if it gets serious enough, you get a jury of your peers to deliberate on that trial. And that's what the foundation of this country is. That's what our entire legal system has been built on. It stops the government and it stops giant corporations from steamrolling over you. Well, Florida is about to eliminate that right to every single homeowner in the state of Florida. House Bill 459 would force all insurance disputes into one government-controlled system, where there's no jury, there's no discovery, and the ones making the rulings in this Department of Administrative Hearings are administrative judges bought and paid for by the insurance carrier. This bill strips away your rights to take insurance companies to court, it removes your right to a fair fight, and it replaces due process with a bullshit system that homeowners almost always never win. So today I'm going to show you the bill live on screen that's being proposed. We're going to scroll through it, we're going to read through it, we're going to give our thoughts on the language within the bill. And then I want to show you the total media silence on this. There's nothing on Google, nothing on YouTube even covering this right now. But this absolutely affects every single person in the state of Florida with a roof over their head. It affects contractors, it affects attorneys, it affects public adjusters, it affects a ton of people out there. So enough of me talking, let's dive right in. Here we have House Bill 459 being proposed to take effect in July of 2026. And I'm going to touch on that date here a little bit later. But this, a bill to be entitled an act relating to property insurance claims, amending 627.7015, establishing a mandatory procedure for resolution of disputed property insurance claims, deleting obsolete provisions. So this is establishing a mandatory procedure for resolution of disputed property insurance claims. So that means it's going to strip away appraisal, it's going to strip away mediation, and it's going to completely strip away your right to an attorney. So when we're working insurance claims, in my opinion, a thing that makes an insurance policy a decent policy is the avenues you have to take after it's been underpaid. In my experience, majority of claims are underpaid. Now, if you have an insurance policy that has and in the state of Florida currently, all of them have mediation if it's a dispute of over $500 or more. But if you have appraisal and coverage has been opened, that's a fantastic way to dispute and reach a resolution with the carrier. If all else fails, there are carriers out there, and I'm not going to say any names, but there are carriers out there that are just absolutely horrible. One of them is big and they're red. Now, when those carriers underpay and they deny and they put their feet in the sand and they're standing on their position, you have the right to litigate. You have the right to an attorney. Now, previously, 2 to 3 years ago, you had the right to attorney fees if you won that trial. They stripped that away back in 2022 with Ian. And now they're planning on stripping away litigation altogether, which leaves a ton of homeowners with no hope at all. If they're out of pocket and they go to the DOAH program and they're ruled against, which currently Citizens has DOAH, and currently I think they've done 54 cases or something. I could be wrong, but they have around a 99% win rate against the homeowners. And the reason being is that currently Citizens has a contract with the administration that hires these judges. So essentially, they are the ones putting money into the pocket of these administrative judges. I think it's 250 or 260 something thousand it's going to go up to. And I have an article. They did an investigation on this that we're going to go over as well. But right here, this is scary language. Mandatory procedure. Requiring certain entities to administer a specified law in certain manner, requiring insurers at specified times to notify policyholders of the mandatory procedure, requiring the Department of Financial Services to prepare a consumer information pamphlet. Oh, they're going to give you a pamphlet on information. It's to be provided to policyholders at specified times, authorizing a policyholder or insurer to file a petition with the Division of Administrative Hearings, DOAH, to resolve certain claims. Specifying requirements for filing and service of such petition, requiring the department to inform policyholders of the location of the Division of Administrative Hearings and the division's website address. Specifying that the parties to the claim must bear the cost of certain conferences, requiring an administrative law judge, the bought and paid for judges, to review the petition upon receiving it. Requiring the administrative law judge to dismiss petitions that do not contain specified information, requiring that the petition include a certain certification specifying that dismissal of a petition or a portion of the petition is without prejudice and does not require a hearing. Specifying that motions to dismiss must be handled in a specified manner, requiring the insurer to pay the requested claim or file a response to the petition within a specified time frame. But the thing is, they have a 99% win rate thus far, and that's just Citizens. Now this is being rolled out to every carrier operating in the state of Florida. Citizens is state ran. It's almost as if they did a trial run with the state ran, and now they're saying to all the private carriers, go ahead and do it. Go ahead. You're going to strip away the rights, and they're going to vote on this, and they're going to take this away from fucking everybody. This is insane. Response to the petition requiring the administrative law judge to conduct proceedings in a specified manner, providing an exception, requiring the administrative law judge to make a final determination. Final, that word final right there. Final, that's a scary word. Of total coverage amount within a specified time frame, requiring such amount to be paid in a specified manner, revising the definition of the term claim. What are you revising the definition of the term claim? Repealing, relating to appraisal clauses. Okay, so this is where they're talking about stripping away appraisal, if I'm correct here. Appraisal clauses in the property insurance contract, suits arising under property insurance policy, consolidation of residential property insurance actions, and mandatory binding arbitration of property insurance policies. So they're going to revise the term claim to basically say appraisal's gone, suits that arise from it are gone, and now we have mandatory binding arbitration. Absolute bullshit, people. This is absolute bullshit. Of property insurance policies, respectively amending SS 627.351. Conforming provisions to change made by the Act, providing an effective date. I think they're trying to do it for July. The procedure set forth in this section is designed to bring the parties together. Okay, the procedure is set forth in this section. It is designed to bring the parties together to ensure the efficient delivery of the coverage offered under the policy. That's a lie. Helping to restore the owner's property and livelihood to normalcy after a disaster or loss while maintaining reasonable costs to the insurer. That's what this really boils down to right here. Maintaining reasonable costs to the insurer. Before participating, these procedures, policyholders and insurers are encouraged to resolve claims as quickly and fairly as possible. Quickly and fairly. That is laughable. Let's get one thing straight, guys. The insurance carriers are not going to do the right thing. They are a multi-billion-dollar industry. They have shareholders invested. They have stakeholders. They are there to protect their interests. And by doing this, they're eliminating the need for their own attorney costs. They're eliminating the need for homeowners like having to pay their attorney costs. Because there is still a way to get attorney fees in Florida. It's with a proposal for settlement. So in a nutshell, and I'm not an attorney, so take this with a grain of salt, but based on some of the attorney friends I have that I've spoken to in the industry, what this means is that currently right now as it stands, if you have a dispute with your insurance carrier and your attorney who you've hired, they submit a proposal for settlement. So let's say, for example, the loss that you're claiming is $100,000. your attorney submits a proposal for settlement for $75,000. If the insurance carriers turn that down, from my understanding, you can still get attorney fees currently. If they accept that $75,000 offer, though, then you still have to pay your attorney fees. You have to pay your PA fee, whatever it may be. And you're left with, I don't know, maybe a third of what you actually needed to do the work. It's just a mess. The whole entire insurance industry and everything right now is just a mess. The Office and the Division of Administrative Hearings shall administer this section in a manner that facilitates the self-execution of the system in the process of ensuring a prompt and cost-effective delivery of payments to insureds. So this is probably where they're going to say you have like 14 days or something to send the payments if it is in the favor of the insured, which I am not optimistic that many of them will be. Where do we have here? The department shall prepare a consumer information pamphlet. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of help, guys. You get a pamphlet. Policyholder or an insurer may, for any claim that is ripe due to owing. Okay, now where do we define ripe though? What constitutes ripe? I know in mediation, if it's a dispute of $500 or more, it's ripe. File a petition with the Division of Administrative Hearings to resolve claims which meets the requirements of this section. A party represented by an attorney shall file by electronic means. So this is the thing, though. If you're a homeowner and you have a $40,000 loss, now you have to go pay your attorney. You have to pay your own attorney fees. So and then if you go to a hearing where you have a 1% chance of winning, now you're out attorney fees. Plus, you still have the damages to your home that you're going to have to come out of pocket for. A party not represented by an attorney may file by certified mail or electronic means. The department shall inform the policyholders of the location of the Division of Administrative Hearings on the division's website. Address for purpose of filing a petition for resolving a claim. The policyholder shall also serve by certified mail or electronic means. The cost of the procedure, mediation must be reasonable. The party's insurer must bear all the cost of conducting mediation conferences. So yeah, insurers do pay for mediation, but it's like $400. And if a policyholder fails to appear at conference, the conference must be rescheduled upon the policyholder's payment of the cost. If the insurer fails to appear at the conference, the insurer may pay the policyholder's actual cash expenses incurred in attending the conference. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it seems as if they're talking on mediation, so I'm confused here a little bit. I'd have to really dive into this and absorb it. Upon receipt of petition, an administrative law judge shall review it and shall dismiss any petition or any portion of such petition which does not on its face specifically. Okay, and these are the requirements now. So if you want to file a petition to go to the DOAH, the DOAH, you have a loss. You say, hey, this isn't fair. They're stonewalling me. They're not wanting to pay. They're not giving me a reinspection. They're just, I'm being quoted by the general contractor $80,000. The insurance company's paid me $4,000, which, believe it or not, happens a lot. Upon receipt, so the judge may dismiss it if you do not meet these requirements. Identify or itemize all of the following information: the policyholder's name, address, telephone number, and social security number, the insurer's name, address, and telephone number, a detailed description of the loss or damage for which the claim has been filed, including the date it occurred, the alleged acts or omissions of the insurer giving rise to the dispute, including, if applicable, a denial of coverage, an estimate of damages, if known, and the amount that is disputed by the insurer, a specific explanation of any other dispute issued that the administrative law judge will be called to rule upon. All right, so those are your conditions that you have to meet to, I guess, file the DOAH. They don't make it easy. Now, the petition must include a certification by the policyholder, or if the policyholder is represented by a counsel who is going to cost you money out of your pocket, the policyholder's attorney stating that the policyholder or attorney, as applicable, has made a good faith effort to resolve the disputes. Okay, so basically, we sent a bunch of emails back and forth. We tried to settle it. They denied it. The dismissal of any petition or portion of such petition under this section is without prejudice and does not require a hearing. Okay. All motions to dismiss must be handled as specified in 440.192. Within 14 days after the receipt of the petition, the insurer shall pay the requested claim or file a response. Okay, so yeah, as I said, 14 days. If they're found liable, they have to pay. Now, that never happens. I'll have to explain non-payment. So these guys just get away with everything. They have so much money that they can just donate to a politician's campaign. Politician, received $1 million, $2 million, $3 million to their campaign. I mean, honestly, it's just corruption, man. It's legal corruption. And then when that politician finishes out their term, what do you know? They have a high-paying job with those companies. All right. And then it goes on to just talk a little bit more about the inner workings of the DOAH. And where was it? This act shall take effect July 1st, 2026. So to me, that seems as if they are planning, as if they know it's going to go through. So, and this is just my opinion, but I think the carriers I think it is going to pass unless the consumers speak up in droves. And I think that the carriers are going to spend the next 7 months preparing for this transition, and they're fully expecting this to pass. All right, words stricken are deletions, words underlined are additions. Okay, yeah, so this was redacted. All right, so now let's hop into just how corrupt this is. Citizens insurance judges funded by insurer they rule on. WPTV investigative reporter Kate Hussey is digging into records that show the insurer is funding the salaries of judges who decide policyholder disputes. If that is not a fucking conflict of interest to a giant magnitude, I do not know what is. I think in 2023, the state-ran insurer added mandatory arbitration. And this is what I was talking about, is that Citizens has been adding this into their policies, and Citizens has just gone downhill. Forcing policyholders into a process where administrative law judges, not juries, not your right to due process, completely eliminated. A contract between Citizens and the state's Division of Administrative Hearings, DOAH, shows the insurer funds these judges' salaries at about $250,000 per year. You're getting $250,000 from the carriers. All right, so think about it from these corrupt judges' perspective now. You're a judge, you work for the DOAH, you're an administrative judge, and you're getting $250,000 a year from the contract that the administration has with the insurance carriers. You're being paid that. That's going into your pocket. How do you think you're going to rule? I mean, it's just corruption, man. Money corrupts people. It's set to increase to $266,000 next year. The Florida legislature approved the agreement in House Bill 799. And this was a quote right here from somebody, not sure who it is, Jesus. I don't think it's constitutional at all, said insurance attorney Aaron Bass. I completely agree, Aaron, who has no cases with Citizens but was shocked to learn of the arrangement. Judges take an oath to uphold the law, to follow the law, and to be impartial. But judges are human. I don't see how they can divorce their humanity from the fact that most of these administrative law judges need to pay their mortgage, pay for groceries. According to the Citizens Board of Governors meeting, more than 1,000 claim disputes have been sent to DOAH over the past 2 years. About half of those, 517, were fully resolved. Data from Citizens shows that 37% of those cases ended in favorable settlements for the policyholder. Just 11% went to final hearing. WPTV read through a full year of final hearing cases from May 24 to May 25 and found that of the 54 cases that weren't settled and went to a final hearing, with both sides presenting evidence, judges sided with Citizens in 53 out of 54 of them. 99% there. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure this data. I'm guessing it didn't make it all the way to the final DOAH hearing. Maybe they did. I'm guessing that these insureds were represented by an attorney, and maybe they were able to settle it at a desk level or in a mediation or something prior to a DOAH hearing. But even still, 37%, it's not a great number. That's really not a great number. 99%, that's absolutely mind-blowing. You would think it would be 50-50, but it isn't, Bass said. It is almost an existentially disproportionate number of losses for homeowners versus wins for homeowners. Just absolute crazy. I completely agree, Aaron. I completely agree. In one motion to vacate, WPTV reviewed a Pembroke Pines couple who sustained damage from Hurricane Milton, claimed the administrative law judge presiding over their case restricted their ability to present testimony and evidence, depriving them of a full and fair hearing. And that is absolute corruption, guys. I am sorry. I mean, this is just my opinion, but I can't prove it. But I think the evidence is pretty clear. These politicians are bought and paid for. The insurance companies have bought and paid the entire claims process. You think about it. These carriers are big giant corporations, and they're collecting premiums hand over fist. And year after year for the last 3-4 years now, they've had some sort of ruling in their favor. First, it was getting rid of attorney fees. Now it's stripping litigation away, and every homeowner's right to due process completely gone. This is mind blowing. I do not see this ending well. I do not see this ending well. And now there was an article that came out yesterday, I think it was, that the Tampa Bay area, Florida, has the highest foreclosure rate right now. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't done a lot of diving into it, but I think that part of that has to do with the storms that hit last year and the carriers not paying those claims properly and those homeowners being turned upside down. A lot of them were forced. I had a lot of clients that were actually forced to sell their homes, regardless of what we were able to get them. So, I mean, it's a mess, guys. It's an absolute mess, and I'm a little scared for the future here. Guys, and one last thing I just want to go over. I want to show you guys how this is not being covered at all. When you go on Google, when you go on YouTube, I mean, you go here on Google, you search up HB 459 Florida, House Bill 459 Florida, and I mean, it pops up here. It says establishes mandatory procedure for resolution of disputed property insurance claims. That word mandatory right there that's the word mandatory. Mandatory. It's not optional. Sure, it pops up under floridasenate.gov, but what average consumer is going on floridasenate.gov and reading through proposed House bills? I know I don't. For the most part, I do this one because it's my industry and it's what I'm in. But if there was a House bill for solar, I'm not going to go through and read it. Now, the thing I really want to point out here, though, is that if you click on the news, there is nothing. I mean, you have some articles, but they're not related. This is from 2018. This is from 2022. This one's from 2008, and this one's from 2022. Now, if we go over to YouTube and we do the same exact thing here, House Bill 459 Florida, we'll go ahead and research, see what pops up. It switched it a little bit. But look, 3 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, Florida's new ballot initiative law faces legal challenges from Medicaid expansion. So that's related to Medicaid. 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 7 months ago, House Bill 759, age to purchase firearm in Florida. So there's nothing being covered on this. There are other House bills being covered, but this just is not being covered right now. And I do not know why. This is a huge deal. I mean, this isn't, increasing the age to buy cigarettes. This is literally stripping all of the consumers away of their right to due process when the insurance carriers inevitably do them wrong. But that begs the question, what can we do about this? What can you, the consumer, do about this? And do I think that this is going to pass? I do absolutely think this is going to pass. I think when you're talking about corruption, you just have to ask yourself one simple question: where does the money go? You follow the money. There's articles out there. I don't have the sources cited right away, but these politicians have taken huge donations from the carrier. And as I've explained, I truly believe that it's just corruption. It's called lobbying. It's legal bribery, man. But what we can do, and I think everybody needs to hear this. If you happen to be watching this video, make your own video on it. Share this video. Do something to get the word out there, because this is a serious, serious issue, guys. You can go all out and you can show up to committee hearings. You can email your representatives in your area. You can make videos on the subject, as I'm doing, to get the word out there, posts, get it on social media. You can flood these representatives' social media with this issue and ask for answers. And, it has to go through committee still. It's still in the early stages, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all, guys. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm just giving you guys the reality of the situation right now, currently in Florida. This bill, if it passes, it fundamentally changes your rights as a homeowner. And as a hardworking homeowner, such as yourselves and myself, we deserve coverage. We deserve transparency. And we definitely do not deserve to be stripped of our rights.